Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. It's been a few weeks since I've done anything out here, but I'm making up for it with what I'm doing now. So I used to have shelving on this wall behind me. That's getting gone. I've started putting some insulation on this wall, and I'm going to be moving this lathe, but it's not staying here. I'm actually working on finding this a new home because I've got a replacement lathe. It's about 40 years newer than this one. It's a Reed Prentice, and it's a fair little bit bigger. It's a newer gearhead lathe. But anyways, we're making some changes. I got to get this pulled away, insulate this wall. I'm going to plywood it, and then I'll get you some shots of this new lathe. I got to get it off the trailer, get it brought in. Weighs a little under 6,000 pounds. So take a little bit of elbow grease to get it cleaned up, but it's all fully functional, and I think it's going to be a really big improvement over what I've got. Not that there's anything wrong with this one, but I think this new lathe is going to be much better suited for the kind of work I need to be able to do with it. So we finally gotten the lathe to its final resting place. It was a very slow journey, especially having to shuffle stuff around as I was moving it, because the way I had it on the trailer, it was loaded headstock first, and so I had to get it into the shop and then turn it around and get it skated back into this corner where it's going to be staying. So it is all moved, it's set in place. A few things that need to be done yet. I need to cut some 1/2-inch plate steel to go under the leveling screws. There's 8 in total, 4 on the end of the bed and then 4 under the headstock. So obviously you don't want those leveling screws right onto the concrete, because that small pressure point will just destroy the floor. But according to the manual, it has to have 1/2-inch plate steel under each of the leveling screws. And then we'll go about leveling this thing up. But now that it's in place, I think I got the camera angled right where you don't see the rest of the mess in my shop from moving everything around, but I need to get some stuff situated, and then this thing's going to get a thorough cleaning from the top down. Once I get this cleaned, then I'll start working on bringing in the other pieces. So the tailstock, steady rest, several chucks, the motor plate that goes on this. I'm hoping that all the parts were there. I was told all the parts were there, so we'll find out. We might end up having to make some pins or screws for some various portions. But anyways, big milestone. It's in place and ready to move on to the next phase. Alright, so it's been a couple weeks since I've actually gotten this lathe more or less set in place. Work exploded. Haven't had a chance to really be out here much working on it. But I thought I'd share the progress so far. So I've got the lathe in place. Got it mostly all reassembled. A couple things I've learned since getting it in here and opening it up. There's a main pin that the motor plate mounts on, hinges on rather. That pin was missing, so right now I have a couple bolts in there, but I'm probably going to see about getting some round stock. It's 3/4 inch, nominal 750 thousandths. So I'll probably look at getting a piece of stock for that. When I opened up the head, I was a little bit disappointed and concerned. So these lathes had a pressure lubrication system for the 2 main spindle bearings. The oil pump that feeds that is not in the head. It's gone. It looks like it was probably harvested, my guess harvested for a different machine. So I will need to look at doing something about that. It's not overly complicated. On the spindle, I'll get you some video of it. On the spindle, there's an eccentric portion on it that every time the spindle rotates 360 degrees, it would operate one stroke of an oil pump. So I don't think it'll be all that difficult. Worst case scenario, I'll make one. And then it just had, I'm assuming original was copper lines. Everything else in here is copper lines that fed it. So we'll make a pump, run it to feed it, and go from there. But yeah, otherwise it's in place. I got a VFD hooked up to it. Wiring's not complete. I just got it put together so I could test the motor and that. It does work. Everything spins. Everything sounds good on it. All the gears and everything in the head look good. I didn't see any chips or any excessive wear. There's really not much wear on this machine at all as I've gotten it cleaned up. So that's a plus. But anyways, I just thought I'd share that much with you. I'm probably going to make this a wrap on this video so I can get it out, because like I said, it's been quite a while and things are really getting busy. So hopefully I'll get another video out sooner with some more on this. Everything is free and moving, less the taper attachment. That's still seized up. So that'll be one of my projects, getting that pulled apart, cleaned up, freed up and moving. And then the compound works smoothly. That's good. The cross slide is tight. Now I've backed off the gib on it. It's got a tapered gib, and that helps some, but it's still kind of stiff. So I'm probably going to pull the compound off and just disassemble the cross slide to get it cleaned up, make sure everything's alright on there. I'm not sure, I need to look up in the manual. This has an interesting feature for cutting threads. It's got an internal stop so that when you're cutting threads you can back out your cross slide, and then when you put it back in it'll hit a stop. So I'm not sure if something's gummed up in there or what. This machine definitely sat for quite some time with the owner that I got it from, the previous owner. So just needs a little more TLC. But we're getting there. It's in place, it fires up, everything sounds good. All the controls work. I do need to make, this is the engagement lever. There should be two of these, but there is only one. So I will be making a second one of these. One is to operate the power feed for the carriage, and then the other one is to operate the power feed for the cross slide. So temporarily I just unthread it and switch between the two. So I'll definitely be making a second handle in the future for that. Yeah, otherwise everything's good on this so far. Very pleased with it. I need to do a little more cleanup on it. Then I can get the chip pan back on it, which has a sump basin, and it has some of the plumbing for coolant. So I'll need to look at getting a coolant pump. There is no pump with this, so that we can hopefully have some coolant for cutting in the future. But all in all, I'm very happy with the progress. A couple little minor setbacks with it, but we'll get those ironed out. So that's going to be a wrap. Thanks for watching. Hopefully the next time I'll have the rest of the shop cleaned up a little more and organized and a little bit in a better position to be able to get some work done out here. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you like what you saw. If you did, please like the video. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe, and I will try to continue to get little tidbits out there. So thanks a lot. Have a great night. We'll catch you in the next one.